just love to go on a journey by foot car, you don't get to emit carbon, and at the same time, we have the chance to pick up the trash along the way.
And best of all, you get to breathe clean, fresh air and be one with nature. Thanks to the many hiking trails here in Tarlac, we all now have the chance to visit these mountains in the Philippines.
And let's protect it by planting more trees.
So join us as we climb Mount Pinatubo and more here on the only eco-travel show in the Philippines, Ruby on a Road Trip.
Central Luzon's youngest province, otherwise known as Tarlac, is located just 125 kilometers northeast of Metro Manila.
A landlocked province in the Philippines, Tarlac is bordered by Pampanga to the south, Nueva Ecija to the east, and Pangasinan to the north, and Zambales to the west.
Tarlac played a vital role in shaping Philippine history because during the 1896 Philippine Revolution, Tarlac was among the first 8 provinces to rise against Spain, thus earning its rightful place in the Philippine flag as one of the 8 rays of the sun.
Today, Tarlac is known as the melting pot of Central Luzon because of its diverse culture, booming tourism, with various establishments like the elegant L Square Hotel that offers one of the best and relaxing stays while in Tarlac, with its modern and clean rooms, amenities, and facilities to make your stay enjoyable.
Tarlac's booming ecotourism is very visible with its creation of the first Tarlac Recreation Park, the first of its kind in the province and one of their programs for their ecotourism.
To bring back people to enjoying nature and at the same time offer various adventure activities to locals and visitors alike, this 78-hectare sports and recreational park right here in Tarlac is one proof of what a sustainable tourism development program is. The first eco-adventure trail in Tarlac, thrilling every visitor. What was your idea behind the park and when was this first built?
In 2009 we wanted to host the Central Luzon Athletic Meet, or the Clara, but we didn't have a facility, a sports complex. So this was a good area, and my dad then saw that this was indeed a good area. But this was nothing at that time. Ricelands, as you would see, the terrain of the same suppliers, that of the Olympics. And the football field, of course, was a requirement. And this is still being used by the people who love football even nationally. Down there was more of a baseball and softball. And we've converted that to something that will brighten up the interests of people for tourism, those riding bikes.
Bikes, yeah. The Tarlac Recreational Park offers various adventure activities.
It is the requirement of community to be able to understand nature. We had mountains and the hills, and basically the people downstairs in the city would only have recreations in malls and all that. But then we had this backyard of Tarlac province, 1/3 of our lands being the mountains and hills.
Yeah.
And we had to protect them. In the 1960s, national government gave logging permits, and basically almost most areas here got pruned up. We had to protect this.
Providing more jobs for its people, the park was also built to protect its biodiversity, which includes...
And I had that idea that if you protect the mountains, you also protect the families here, give them some kind of potential income.
Yeah.
If you take care of the uplands, in the same way, even the people take care of you down in the lowlands. Take care of the forest, you protect the environment here. The lowlands get protected from floodings.
Considered an eco-site, it was designed to campaign for the environmental protection of...
UN has declared Capas O'Donnell area to be a biodiversity area. That's encompassed about the monasterio.
Yeah.
I saw 30 plus species, but given that inspiration, we started mapping out birds, and we're really pushing for their protection. And I guess your idea to have bird rescue center is it's a good idea.
So how important is it to you for the people of Tarlac to reconnect with nature?
I think, especially if you're born here, you're raised here, even those in Manila now look for space. And it's nice to have something like this amongst the hills. If you've gone around our countryside, but then with developments and understanding about ecotourism, people having jobs, our cultural minorities being guides in our kayaking, guides in our mountain climbing, guides in our bird watching. They're really inspired, and I'm inspired as well to see them, happy with what they do.
The Tarlac Recreational Park offers the ultimate in adventure. But if you want to get close to nature, Tarlac is home to numerous hiking trails, one of which is the San Pedro Trail. Let's go! Part of the identified eco-adventure trails in Tarlac now, Sitio San Pedro is among the top destination of mountaineers because it offers at least 6 mountains to hike on. Covering 4 municipalities with existing mountain and forest cover, namely Bamban, Capas, San Jose, and Mayantok, these trails are now part of the ecological and adventure tourism project of the government of Tarlac.
Numerous mountains like the Mount Kawayan, Mount Bungkol, and Mount Tangisan offer each hiker different trail and levels of challenges. But they all share the same qualities: fresh air to breathe, clean and tranquil scenery, and a calmness that teaches us hikers to respect them. Don't pollute, vandalize, or hurt any wildlife, but just enjoy its serenity.
Tarlac indeed holds many promises, for atop this mountain in San Jose stands a 40-foot statue of the risen Christ, and where a really small relic of the Holy Cross can be found. Founded by Father Ronald Thomas Cortez in 1998, the monastery is run by the Servants of the Risen Christ monastic community.
The reason why the monastery stays here in Tarlac is because it's the idea of our founder prior. Our founder prior is Father Archie Cortez. He is a native of Banban, Tarlac, and he is a diocesan priest. We started developing the place in 2004, and we started from nothing. No roads, no electricity, no building. It was only through the generosity of the people, the pilgrims visiting the monastery, that we were able to establish all the structures that you are seeing today. That on 2007, January 30, the relic of the Holy Cross from Germany arrived here in the Philippines and was enshrined here at the Monasterio de Tarlac.
From this hilltop, now known as the Mountain of Resurrection, pilgrims are treated to a spectacular view of nature from.
Monasteries are always on the top of the mountain because it is a place where we can easily commune with God, with the silence of the place, with the nature, with the trees, with the clouds that you can see around you. So it's one way of communicating with God. It's a natural communion with God. That is why we are very close to nature.
Surrounded by a piazza reminiscent of European churches, a Baroque chapel stands majestically in the middle of the compound.
The nature we are experiencing and we are benefiting is the creation of God, and therefore, since it is the creation of God, we should be able to protect them. We should be protecting the trees, we should be protecting the rivers, we should be protecting all kinds of birds roaming around, all kinds of animals in the forest. That is why you can see around the monastery we are preserving the trees, the birds. That's why in the ecotourism, eco park, we have the aviary, where you can see the different kinds of birds roaming around the province of TARLAC.
Tarlac is home to some of the bravest Filipinos as it became the new seat of the First Philippine Republic on March 1899, when General Emilio Aguinaldo abandoned the former capital, Malolos, Bulacan. And a hotbed for the Hukbalahap for the local communist movement headed by Benigno Aquino in 1950. And perhaps following their footsteps, but this time choosing to fight for the preservation and conservation of Tarlac's environment. TMC, or Tarlac Mountaineering Club, is one group who is now doing the brave act of protecting the mountains of Tarlac.
The TMC is all about a group of individuals who love climbing mountains or love hiking per se. After virtually climbing every mountain that's commercially popular here in the province of Tarlac and also in the southern and northern Luzon, we thought of putting up programs for the communities living in the jump-off areas near those mountains, especially here in Tarlac, because these communities help us during our trips. The residents have become very helpful and very generous to us whenever we need some supplies or whenever we need to use some of their amenities in their houses and their resources.
Right. Aiming to campaign to people about the importance of conservation.
The main objective of TMC is, number one, to be an outdoor-based and service organization. Primarily, we just delved on climbing and exploring, but after a few years, we realized that we need to give back to the communities that also help us in and also give access to us during our climbs in different outdoor venues.
TMC has been doing fundraising projects for the protection of the mountain.
At present, we have 10 mountains which are readily climbable. That means these mountains have ready mountain guides, support system in the communities to accept visitors. And these mountains range from day hikes to overnight climbs because the campsites are ready also for
So
climbers
it's
to put up
available.
tents. Yeah. In terms of eco-adventure tourism here in Tarlac, the western part, which we have experienced, is filled with different species of flora and fauna. And what we're trying to promote right now is our bird watching program. Because in the province, we have almost 70 species of birds. And we are trying to open it up to different bird photographers and bird watchers that haven't yet visited the areas.
They also have literacy projects for the youth residing in the mountain communities, as they will be the next generation of eco-warriors.
Well, our environmental programs, more on the education and imparting of literacy programs to children in mountain communities.
I see. So, do you see any threats related to the environment, this beautiful lush green and the waters that you have? What's the threat that you see?
Initially, when we were starting the program with the Sustainable Tourism Department and also with our club, the main threat was the human factor.
Okay, trash.
Yeah. The human factor, trash is one thing, and the other is the needs of the locals.
Okay.
So we were
The
trying to
needs.
find out how to balance the
needs,
sustainability,
meaning the
and
livelihood?
the livelihood of the
Okay.
locals, because they rely mostly on the mountains for their sustenance, but
Okay.
also we are trying to limit in a way how they use up the resources, so that after a few years, when their children are already grown up, they can also be of use to them.
Residing in the mountain regions of Tarlac are different indigenous groups, and one of them is the Abiling tribe. I see you wearing a shirt that says Ugat Mountain Guides. What is Ugat?
Ugat means United Guide Abiling Tribe. Pwede po ibigay namin yung pag-akyat po sa tatlong bundok natin, yung Mount Tangisan, Mount Bungkulbaka, at saka po Mount Kawayan. At may dalawa pong falls. Ang mga pangalan po ng falls na ito ay ang Duglo Falls. Duglo ibig sabihin yung vine, o baging na panggamot, magandang bulaklak. At ang Pangasaan Falls, kung saan kinuha ang pangalang pangkaan o pangalan po ng komunidad na ito. May 7 bundok po kami dito na pwedeng ipapaakyat. Kanya lang po ito ay kailangan nire-ritual ng mga tigapamuno po ng ating tribo.
A peace-loving people who live in the mountains. They have a very unique creation. I understand that one of your tribe's livelihood products is necklaces made of grass. What is this grass, and what is the process involved when making these necklaces?
Kami po ay gumagawa ng kwintas na galing po sa buto ng damo, bunga ng damo. At ang pangalan
Yung
po,
bunga?
Opo, yung bunga niya ay puti na tinatawag po naming butines. Yun po yung tinutusok po namin, tapos ginagawang kwintas at saka po pulseras po yung ginagawa namin.
Indigenous and painstakingly made out of love and respect for nature. They create necklace, bracelets, and other ornaments that they sell to augment their income.
Nakikita naman po namin na ang paggalang o ang pagkikiisa ng ating mga anito sa pamamagitan mismo ng kalikasan. Nakikita na po namin ito sa pamamagitan halimbawa ng mga insekto. Pag sinasalubong kasi yung tao, yung isang mountaineer, yung mga namamasyal, ibig sabihin welcome po siya sa lugar. At doon namin po pinapaliwanag sa kanya na siya ay makakalikasan. Tapos pagka meron po siyang ginagawa o nagagawa na hindi niya sinasadya na nakakagulo sa kalikasan, pinapaliwanag po namin na wag po niyang gagawin. Napakahalaga po ang kapaligiran o ang kalikasan sa amin dahil alam po namin yan ay nilikha ng ating bathala na kung saan dito tayo mamuhay ng malinis, mapayapa. Ibinigay niya ito para pangalagaan po natin. Pangalagaan ng bawat isa na umaakyat po sa bundok. Napakahalaga nito dahil dito nabubuhay ang mga tao na tulad po natin.
TARLAC is home to Mount Pinatubo, and it is now being lobbied to be protected and preserved as a natural environment and historical significance.
The Mount Pinatubo Trek is one of the most popular hiking destinations for mountaineer because of its proximity and diversity. But today, I am about to find out what we can do to help the mountain sustain its glory. Going to Mount Pinatubo is not an easy hike. It kicks off with a 4x4 ride all the way to Santa Juliana, Capas. As a jump-off area and another 4x4 ride all the way to Sitio de Pili.
The ride stops here, and this is where my feet start trekking. But first, a few eco reminders. Always follow the path created for you. Never leave your trash behind. And most importantly, don't pluck flowers, break tree branches, or throw stones at animals or feed them. Remember, we are only visitors to this mountain, so the utmost respect must be given to nature and the wild. Let's go!
The Pinatubo trek starts with an orientation, and soon afterwards, we start walking.
All right, Carl, what age group do you think you belong? My wishful thinking says I belong here, but I'm shooting for this age. But honestly, I think I belong way past the senior citizen age.
Well, given that it's my first climb up Mount Pinatubo, I'll play it safe by sticking with the senior citizen age.
Okay, let's go try it. Let's find out.
To reach the crater, a good 20-minute hike is needed. But not to worry, as despite being tired from climbing all these steep rocks, rugged edges, not to mention sunny hot weather, we kept our patience and pushed ourselves a little bit more and more.
Because once we reach the top, the most beautiful crater awaits us. And there it is, pristine, quiet, and the wind gently blowing. The most turquoise green water I've ever seen stand still. With its eruption last June 1991, it affected its terrain and wildlife. But as time healed all the wounds, Mount Pinatubo is beaming back with life. Mount Pinatubo must be protected from human exploitation like cutting of trees, killing of wildlife, trashing the place as the mountain serves as a habitat to rare and endangered species of plants and animals, and even indigenous tribes like the Aitas. And true to our word, we planted our first seedling up here in Mount Pinatubo, and here's hoping that more people will do the same. of the gradual depletion of the ozone layer due to humanity's greed for power and money, we now live in a fragile world where everything can be lost if we don't clean up our act and change for the better.
All that nature wants from us are three things. Respect nature by not dumping trash in our oceans or destroying the mountains through mining. Conserve our natural resources like Mount Pinatubo by not cutting its trees or hunting its wildlife. And lastly, protect all of nature's gifts like the oceans, forests, and our wildlife.
Start acting and save your environment. A simple change in your lifestyle, like conserving water and religiously turning off all the lights and appliances in your home when not in use. I'm Ruby.
And I'm Carl. Make that green leap of faith and do nothing but good deeds for the environment today.
It's more fun in the Philippines. It's more fun.